If it's not true, we need to know now, and we need to stop the progression of this whole thing from getting worse, because it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
And only on 7 News, this police interview with a Fort Collins woman. She was later convicted for making phony rape accusations, and the man she accused was arrested and put in jail 1 year ago today. Well, tonight, he is speaking to 7 News reporter Lindsay Watts about why he is still struggling to pick up the pieces.
It's definitely a reminder of what I've been through.
Accused of rape, cuffed at the police station the day before Thanksgiving.
I can ask you some questions regarding the crime of sexual assault.
Watching it back 1 year later, Dustin Toth says his life still feels out of control. His accuser, Catherine Bennett, a coworker he'd started dating.
And right now, the statements that I've been given do not match evidence.
This is exclusive video of her police interview. As Toth sat in jail, her story fell apart.
I'm not telling you to drop charges. I want to know the facts about what happened.
Bennett, later convicted of making it all up. She was sentenced to 35 days in jail, then an ankle monitor and probation.
I don't feel...
That's bullshit. Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Manhood. Corporations are thinking of a hiring freeze for females in 2024. I wonder why. All of this accusations. Please like subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. Let's get to that chow. It's chow time. 35 days and an ankle monitor for her accusation of this guy going to jail. That's some bullshit.
Well, that's justice.
Toth says he's the one who's been punished. The Army National Guardsman lost his civilian job and was out of work for nearly 6 months after the arrest.
I've been behind on my car payment ever since.
He has his friends, but the emotional pain is still there.
I feel like I'm incapable to actually trust a woman again.
He says it's telling his story that's helping him heal.
Giving me the opportunity to share it gives me the opportunity to clear my name, because I still feel like my name is not cleared.
Lindsay Watts, 7 News.
If I was a
Women just don't think that men are humans. They just think that we're just throwaway disposable wallets.
man, and I'm not a man, but if I was a man, I wouldn't hire a woman. I wouldn't do it. And I say it all the time, and I say that, and that is something that women need to consider when they're talking about this stuff. When you are saying that a man complimenting you and saying, I really like your outfit today, is a form of sexism. What is if you're a man, why hire a woman, right? So you fought all this time to be able to get into the workforce, only to say these are going to be the rules. You know, if you say anything, even if you compliment me, if you look at me, anything, I'm going to have a reason to fight you. And by the way, you're going to want to settle and pay me, because even just the stain of an accusation is enough to ruin men. So if you're a guy?
Exactly. When we just saw it in the clip earlier, he was accused. This was his girlfriend, co-worker that he was seeing, and he lost his job. 6 months of unemployment, went to jail, and what did she get? 3 months in jail and an ankle monitor? She ruined his life.
Guy, right, in this society, in this MeToo environment, in this litigation-rich environment of misogyny and sexism and all of these claims, what is the value add? What's the risk? You know, the
I know you guys do not like her, but she makes good points in this clip, so just bear with it.
benefit and the risk. I can't do the analysis and say, I'd just be like, no, I'm just not hiring anyone. Give me all the men.
There's a female hiring freeze as corporations ignore women in 2024. Men are more work efficient. You don't see them going around crying about sexual harassment, and they don't go on maternity leaves. Why wouldn't corporations pick men over women? It's common sense. On the premise of...
I mean, what Jordan Peterson always says, he works with high-powered lawyers that are women. These high-powered law firms are like trying to spend millions of dollars to keep these women working, but they're not willing to. They want to quit and be a mother. So yes, for a high-powered firm to have trained someone, to have built someone up to where they're almost necessary for their firm. Now that person wants to leave. Now why would these firms want to hire women? Yes, women do a good job as a lawyer. I'm not saying they don't. But that risk of them leaving for maternity leave or for other reasons is so high, it's not worth the resources.
MeToo, as with all things, the law of unintended consequences takes effect. Now, more than ever, I hear stories of men declining to train or mentor women in the workplace for fear it could lead to a harassment accusation. A lot of attractive women, if I may, are being passed over for career opportunities because male hiring managers can see it as not worth the risk.
I see it in the comments. There was an older lady that said she was invited to a meeting of 5 men, and she was the only one because she was an older, married, very conservative woman, and she was picked because they didn't want to pick any of the young women in the company because they knew that they were going to be trouble. So she knew exactly what was going on.
It's troubling because sexual assault is serious and needs the level of awareness that it has. However, as a man, I think of the times that maybe I gave a congratulatory hug to a co-worker, or when disciplining an insubordinate female. Perhaps I put off perceived aggressive body language that could turn into an accusation of some sort decades from now. MeToo made many male hiring managers and their male co-workers more.
And that's the part I don't talk about a lot, right? It could happen 10, 20 years from now. These accusations you might not be a nobody right now. You made a mistake, or you made someone feel a way, and then you become a somebody 10, 20 years from now, and that person sees you that you're a somebody, and guess what? They want a piece of that somebody. So they're going to bring all of this shit up that was 10, 20 years ago, and it still gets brought up to light. It's crazy.
Suspicious of their female co-workers. It became practice that no female co-worker can have a private conversation with men, no closed-door meetings, certainly no mentoring of any kind, if that should ever come up again. There could be no water machine conversation with them, no bullshitting in the hall.
The water cooler talk.
Absolutely no humor of any kind. Work had become a cold and desolate place. Further, men tended to stick together to spot one another, just in case there is something to be witnessed for later refutation when a false accusation is made.
Hey, men are like, the bro code is stronger than ever nowadays. What happened with the coach for that one Miami Heat team? The team and the organization waited till his divorce was over to give him a very generous bonus / raise, because they knew if they would have done it while he was in his divorce phase, she would have took half of that shit. So, hey, shout outs to us boys looking out for other boys.
Happened to a friend of mine. Fortunately, though, he's out of that job now, and in a place where he doesn't have to interact as much with anyone.
That's good.
All of his interactions are public. He still doesn't kid or socialize much beyond what is necessary to get his job done, and he gives no opportunity for misinterpretation. He still maintains the rule of no females alone with him. If they happen to be with him, the door remains open, or a third party is required to be present. He does not, and will not go out of his way to help if it would place him in a position where a misunderstanding could occur. Lots of men are following suit, and who can blame them? Nobody wants to have their life ruined out of pettiness or a misunderstanding if one can avoid it by simply avoiding the source of the problem altogether. Am I going to sexually harass that woman? Nope. But let's say that woman in the future decides that she wants to get back at me for whatever reason. All she has to do is merely accuse me, just an accusation. Nothing more, and my career is over with. Let's say down the road it showed that she made it all up.
It's so devastating. Just 20 years that you met this person for maybe a little bit of period of time, and they see where you are now, and they can just accuse you of whatever they want, and you lose everything? What? This is so crazy to think that a simple accusation from a woman can destroy a man 20 years later.
Doesn't matter. My career is over with. What am I going to do then?
And I'm not defending the people that do it. I'm not defending Bill Cosby. I'm not defending all these bad actors. I'm not. I am pointing out that just through accusations, men can get destroyed. And a good amount of those times, these accusations are found to be false accusations.
Sue her. Can't get blood from a turnip. There are no checks and balances for this Me Too movement.
There isn't.
I understand the initial reason for Me Too, and it was a good reason.
I agree.
To call out men of influence abusing their power to have their way with women.
I agree with this. Once people get into power, men, women, it doesn't matter. They use that power, they abuse it majority of the time. Not everyone, but majority of people. So men are care about sex. So I can see that a lot of men of high power and high caliber are going to use that to get sex.
If it stopped there, then it would have been all good. But no, women had to take it to the next level, and then the next, and then the next. Now MeToo is being used to fuck men over because of a bad date. Think Aziz Ansari.
Yep.
Women are using MeToo because of tasteless jokes in the workplace, because a man stared at their breasts a little too long.
They're trying to cancel Matt Rife just because he made jokes. He made a domestic abuse joke. It's a joke. It wasn't malicious. You know, like, this is the part where it's like, if you're going to go watch a comedy show or something to you know, that someone's going to make fun of and make up stories kind of thing, like, it's what it is. So for women to try to cancel men in almost all aspects of life, dating, career, even their jobs that have nothing to do with you, they're just entertainers.
All these are distasteful, but to lose your career over a tasteless joke, a bad date, or an unwanted stare at breasts.
It's not even losing career either. You lose reputation. Like, everybody looks at you now as some kind of predator, and you're a liar now. Why? Because a lot of these people believe the women. It's worse than just losing your job.
Come on. Bottom line is this. Women created this monster. Women made their bed. Now they have to live with it by facing the unintended consequences of men not wanting to be near them. Period. See, there has always been a lot of honey trapping, but
This is why when people talk shit about passport bros and they're just saying that we're just all this, do you not see what's going on in the West? Like, are only the men that are getting affected by this in particular seeing it, and every other man that doesn't get affected by this personally are just oblivious to what's going on?
the moment the MeToo movement and Believe Her movements were found to be the same thing, guys responded predictably. Simply put, most men avoided, and are still avoiding contact with women in the workplace, and even outside the workplace. Now some here may think, oh, that's awesome, peace and quiet. Thing is, it's all men, from upper management to janitorial staff, and even waiters and male nurses and firefighters. See, this avoidance culture is practically an existential threat for women. This is me being hypothetical. Firefighters. It is their job to put out fires, not pull people out of fires. Now, if they are avoiding women...
Ooh, I think it is their job to pull people out of fires too, brother. I think it's part of their whole job description is to save people from fires and stop the fires.
This means women in burning buildings don't get rescued, and focus is instead placed on putting out the fire. They get severe burns at best, or burn completely. Female firefighters are also excluded from units, which essentially means if they're in a fire trying to save women, that's 2 funerals. Understand that the work of a firefighter is exactly that. Fire, not people. Going by the paper,
I get where he was going with it. I got where he was going with it.
there's a growing culture among men of avoiding contact with women in the workplace. This culture means a lot of crucial services may no longer be afforded to women, and men, being the efficient creatures they are, may not change this. Mentorships are dwindling. Opportunity meetings are now exclusive to men, with good reason. MeToo not only bolstered the boys' clubs, but also made it utterly impossible to reason your way in. In my company years back, I had an employee efficiency analysis that found male employees to be far better workers than female employees.
I can almost guarantee that if you did that research through all the companies, it's very, very likely that that is the case for most companies.
This means that I had to make a choice, either make the workplace risky for the employees making returns, or remove female employees from the company.
Exactly.
As I work based on returns, the choice was simple. I no longer employ women, and more immediately, did not renew contracts for the ones I had. Not really a tough decision as we moved to working online, making it crucial to know that employees will deliver work. So you see, this movement taught us employers some hard lessons, and created a work culture that's detrimental for women. But as long as things get done, I and most employers don't really care who gets spaced. Business is based on cold equations, and
You
not...
know, it's crazy. I just thought about this now. And we've never had this issue in our family's businesses or all of our donut shops. All of the like my family owns in total maybe 15 to 20 donut shops within the family. All my aunts and uncles and cousins together, we own about 20. We have nothing like this in any of our stores, and we employ mostly women to work the counters just because, everybody likes to see a nice woman, a friendly woman face when they're buying pastries. It's just kind of how it works. And it's never been an issue. Like, men that are the owners and the business owners, and the people in power and the bakers and stuff, we're there just to work and do our job. And these women are there to work and do their jobs. And they do a great job of it. So why do all these other women from other walks of life and other careers seem to always have some issues with it?
Not emotions. If men are good workers, and women, political correctness notwithstanding, are making it hard to build a team, then they go. If it's the other way round, then men go. Only thing that matters.
That is true. Like, even if men were the cause of the issue, yes, employers would get rid of men too. This is not a sexist thing at all. It is an efficiency and a money thing.
Is that things get done. Anyway, that's all for today on Manhood.